Worldwide Sim Racing for the 2020 WSR Formula World Championship. It is Season 2 in Worldwide Sim Racing, and I'm very, very happy to be presenting this race to you for the French Grand Prix. We are just getting the lobby set up right now, and I'm very excited to be joined by a returning commentator from WSR Season 1. It is official Sully or Alex, depending on how you want to pronounce him, and I'm very excited to have him as a commentator in this race as well. How are you doing, Alex?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me back. I was last year for the Monaco Grand Prix, and we all know that race is carnage. So hopefully we get a bit more of another entertaining season. Yeah, so hopefully it's entertaining with a lot of close battling.
Very much so. We're just getting ready. The lobby is getting set up right now. A few drivers just coming in. We have 15 out of 22 drivers on the grid right now, hoping to have a full grid by the end of the by about week 3 or so. We're just getting a few more drivers into it. If you are joining us for the first time, we are Worldwide Sim Racing. This is the WSR Formula World Championship, and we're very excited to be bringing you what is bound to be a very action-packed season in WSR.
So, do you think there's any people that we should be keeping our eye on as possible title contenders?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Of course, Sweet Crown 19 did win the championship last season, so that would be presumably who we would expect to be in the contention for the championship, but we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. But I would expect that he would be the person at the front runner in the championship. Nathan DeVillers, who I chose in the preseason test, is not with us. He is currently testing in Formula 4, so we wish him all the best luck in that. But I suspect, we have 16 drivers now on the grid, so we're already a little bit higher than we were supposed to be.
That's 14 including us.
14 including us. That's true. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, and we're just about to get started. Session starting in just a few seconds, and we're ready to go for the French Grand Prix. And Alex, would you like to give us a little bit of a rundown of some of the great little bits of information about the Circuit de Paul Ricard, which will be racing around for the French Grand Prix?
Of course. Since the track was reopened, it's been here since 2018. The amount of laps we'll have today is 27 in the race with a lap distance of 3.63 miles. There are 15 corners, and the previous winner last year was Sweet Crown 19, the eventual champion of last season. There are also 2 DRS zones into Turn 1 and Turn 8.
And that is definitely a lot of great information. Thank you very much. We are going to go through a lap at some point in the qualifying, probably on an out lap, so you can see this great track, which gave us some great action last season, and it's why we have made it the opening race this season, so that you can see all the great on-track action right in front of you, very on the right-away moment. The European circuits have been heavily favored, and we want to do that. We know that our base is very European, and we want to show off some of the best races on the calendar, and the French Grand Prix, which gave us so much great action last season, is definitely on here as well. That was a bit of a salad dressing of words that I put out there, but we will move on from it. 18 minutes of non-stop action, as we're just getting ready for the first driver to go out. FlipFlopFish went out immediately, though not at the moment right now, as all the drivers definitely want to make an impression on the very first point of this race. Though it is FlipFlopFish who already is getting ready to go out on his lap, so somebody else is also out already, and it is Damian Carroll in the Williams. He will be the first man to come out on track, and we will switch to him on his onboard so we can see just about what it's gonna take to get around the Circuit de Paul Ricard.
FlipFlopFish is on the hard compound tire.
So looking to set a time on that hard compound tire. We'll see how fast he can go. And preseason he went into the 129. We'll see what he can do here. As here comes Damian Carroll into the slow chicanes in Sector 1 before coming up onto what is that very long DRS straight around Turn 8. And coming on to Turn 7, actually it is, on now the DRS straight. Barreling down towards the very slow chicane. You kind of flick it in fast, but then slow up, and there he goes into that chicane. I actually quite like that part of the circuit, and we did see a very good battle between, I believe it was Honos and Obiku, if I'm not mistaken, who had a very good non-contact moment within that chicane. It was very good. As Damian Carroll, in the Williams, he was, of course, one of the top 3 in the WSR feeder series last year, in which many of our young and upcoming talent tried to get their stake into the WSR Formula World Championship. Damian back in the league for 2020. Also back in the league is Element 10, who is currently in the pits in the Toro Rosso. And Formula Johnny also back on the grid. Of course, one of the very first racers in the 2019 WSR season. He's back, and he's better than ever in the McLaren, looking to bring some points for the Woking team. As let's get back on board of Damian Carroll, who has started his lap, barreling down into Turn 1. Let's see what he can do in his Rokit Williams racing car. And Alex, what can you say about qualifying? What do you think what it's going to take to get on pole position?
Well, of course, you have to be quick, and you also have to be consistent. And around this track, especially, trying to keep your DRS high for the duration of the lap. So I think that will play a massive factor, but you also have to take into account where and also what tire you want to begin on.
And there is Damian coming down now in the third sector with that long, flat right-hander before slowing up for the last part of the track. And let's see what Damian Carroll do. What can he set on his time, looking to make an impression? Again, the 1:29.9 was the fastest time in the preseason test, which we didn't live stream, but definitely fast indeed, set by FlipFlopFish. Let's see what he can do. We have a few new people on track. DePaster's new. Mike, 52, is new. Nexus Chaos is also new. He had a great race yesterday. And Damian Carroll, it's a 1:31.3, so we definitely know he can go faster. And we're going to see what he can do in this league, as here comes Elbiku. He's also coming into the third sector. Element 10 about to start his lap. Psycho Sane about to finish.
FlipFlopFish and Speed Kills 3 are both on the hard compounded tire.
It's actually FlipFlopFish who's about to finish a lap. Honos goes fast. It's a 1:31.1, and nope, FlipFlopFish goes back into the pits, not happy with his lap. And Formula Johnny does a 31.9, and the Tapaster goes with a 31.6. So setting up lap time very quickly. Here comes Elbiku in the Red Bull car. Let's see what he can do. And Psycho Sane has a 1:32.4, and Elbiku goes third fastest with a 1:31.4. So the top 5 separated by just a little bits of seconds, as here comes Element 10, who we suspect might set the pace just a little bit more than the current drivers, but then again, Element 10 having a little bit of shivers in his first race. We'll see what he can do. Speed Kills 3 goes 7 fastest for 1:33.4. Definitely the slowest time we've seen by quite a large margin. And Sweet Crown 19 on an lap. He's also on that hard compound tire, so a lot of the drivers who are, we would say, championship contenders, as Ben Swerven goes 7 fastest with a 1:32.8. Definitely setting times on quite a hard tire. They definitely want to go further into the race than some of their other contenders. As here comes Element 10 finishing up his lap. Let's see what he can do in the Toro Rosso. And nope, he's going to go into the pits not very happy with his current set of affairs. As here comes Sweet Crown 19 in the Scuderia Ferrari SF90. And let's see what he can do. He drove in the Alfa Romeo and he got a bit of a seat bump, that's for sure, in the Scuderia today. Let's see what he can do. Bring some Italian pride back to F1 in some capacity, and he's going to try to do it in WSR.
FlipFlopFish is after coming out again, but it's also interesting that we still haven't seen anything of You See Me Flying or Chaos yet. They haven't even come out of the pits yet.
No, both of them definitely wanting to, You See Me Flying, definitely wanting to improve from yesterday. Not the best showing. Had a crash in the beginning of the race, and since then it was pretty much bottom feeder for You See Me Flying. Definitely looking to get a better result out of qualifying today.
Mr. Psycho Sane has, after going at P6, by the way, on a medium compounded tire, which is definitely interesting, as You See Me Flying is now coming out for the first time.
And what tire is he on? Hard compound tire. And Nexus is also out, and he's on the soft compound tire.
Ben Swerven's off in the last sector, coming into the pits. He went a bit too wide.
But definitely slowing up, not getting any penalties for speeding in the pit lane. Definitely don't want to be doing that in qualifying, because I do believe it's worse than a 5-second penalty, if I'm not mistaken.
For speeding in the pit lane in qualifying, you don't actually get a penalty the first 3 times. No, the first 2 times, sorry.
What is it after that?
I think, actually, I think it's just warnings.
I thought it was a grid drop.
I don't think so. I know for the first 2 times anyway, you're fine. Sweet Crown 19's after going 3rd on the hard compounded tire. Will he be happy with that and just go to the end on that compound, or will he come out again on a softer compound?
I think he definitely wants to get pole position on the softs. But knowing that he'll start on the hards, he won't be too unhappy with that one.
Well, if you begin on the hards or even the mediums, there is a good chance that you will be able to go directly onto the softs at the end of the race, so you might be a bit quick.
But he does. I mean, he'll stay on the hards regardless if he sets his pole position time on the soft tires.
No, no.
So it does reset. It does reset the tire.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, it does.
Why does that make? That doesn't make any sense.
Whichever your quickest lap is on.
Oh, I don't like that. I think you should. The first time you set should be the tire you put it on, which is just like it is in F1, but
no, it doesn't. It's the quickest tire
in
you
Q2.
Have on is.
In Q2, no,
yes.
The Q2, the first set tire you set on is that qualifying tire.
No, it's the quickest set. If you don't believe me, you can Google it. But I'm 100% sure and guaranteed. No, it's the quickest set of tire. Which is like,
well, but still, even if you had the quickest time on the hards, I mean, I still think I feel like they should modify it somewhat for the short qualifying sessions.
No, it's the quickest time you
set.
Well,
Albiku's having a very good vacation in the off-run area, which is probably ruining his tires because those areas are actually grained for braking so that you can stop your car. So I'm sure that's not doing wonders for his tires at the moment.
FlipFlopFish is after going P6 on the hard compounded tire.
And
You See Me Flying is also on a hot lap now, as is Chaos.
And there is the Silver Arrow of You See Me Flying in his car of choice, though it was not a very good result for him yesterday. Let's see what he can do in the Silver Arrow today. We expect that he'll be faster, but again, not looking very good in the car yesterday. Maybe today, on race day, things will change. Again, it is just practice, so we don't actually know just how good it will be, but we're going to see what will happen. You See Me Flying is coming around the final few turns. Let's see what he can do in his number 66 car. Coming around the final turn, a little bit of squirm out of the final turn, and let's see what his time is going to be. It's only going to be 10th, 1:33.3. So not a good lap time by any stretch of imagination. Mike is slowest out on track right now for 1:37.1, so definitely not having the best of laps. Element 10 is coming out of the pits, and he is on the medium compound tire. Nexus is actually in the pits. He has not set a time yet either. Honos currently on pole position. Not who we expect to be on pole position at this moment in time, but again, we definitely know that people can go faster by at least 2 seconds. At least a second.
Especially on a quicker tire with the names of Sweet Crown 19, who is now on the soft compound.
He is on that soft compound tire, that bright red tire on that bright red car. DRS flap open and then closing on an outlap right now. Let's see what he can do on the fastest tire in use.
Tipasser's crashed.
Tipasser has crashed.
I'm not entirely sure where. Sector 3.
Oh, it is. It's on the start-finish line. Coming out of the final turn.
Psycho would say this after going second on the mediums.
On that medium compound tire. That's... Well, we're seeing
only
some crazy lap times.
Hanos. Only 2/10 off Hanos. That's very surprising.
Though we gotta mention the fact that, again, Sweet Crown 19 is 4 fastest on that hard compound tire. So we have to only expect a pole position time if he goes in, well, he goes into pits. So an installation lap on the softs?
Must be. It's also very interesting that Didek has also just joined the session. But it's also very interesting that Sweet Crown 19 is still electing to stick with the hard tire and not set a lap there. Like, the only reason that he could have done a lap on the hard if he doesn't want to begin on the hards is to save more compounds of soft tires for the end of the session, because you only have a limited amount, I think 3. Actually, I think it might even be 2 in short qualifying. I'm not entirely sure on that.
And Mr. Psycho saying second fastest.
Yeah. Element 10 is now on a quick lap. In the Toro also in P13. So is Chaos. They're both now on hot laps.
And Element 10 is hoping to get a little further up the grid. He's only 13th at the moment. He hasn't set a lap time at all. So definitely looking to go a little bit faster than that, I would presume.
I believe they both invalidated in earlier laps. I can check that now.
Oh, well, there's a little bit of lag on my screen for Element 10. He just skipped around a little bit there on track, but...
No, well, they haven't actually cut any corners, so they haven't got anything yet. Interesting.
Well, let's see what Element 10 can do. Nexus Chaos is out on track. He's on the medium tire as well. So he came out the first time on the softs. Now he's on the mediums, coming around the final turn. And let's see what Element 10 can do. He's going to set a lap here. Let's see what it's going to be. And it's going to be 6th fastest for Element 10. A pretty decent lap from him. And he's going to put himself further up the grid than he would have expected.
Especially on the medium compound tire.
And FlipFlopFish, he's out on that medium compound tire, setting a fast lap, I believe. And there's Formula John. He's sitting in 9th position. Not a bad position for him. He goes back into the pits. 31.9 at the moment. So not the lineup we expected, I think.
No. I think the surprising things are actually the entirety of the top 3. I wasn't expecting either of those 3 to be in the top 3.
Well, there goes Nexus. He goes 2nd fastest. It's a 1:31.1. And I think that's somebody we did expect to be in the top 5.
FlipFlopFish is going quicker than the pole time at the moment, according to the lap delta split.
Let's actually bring up that lap delta split at the moment. And Formula Johnny, I hope he hasn't left the session. That would be unfortunate.
I think he could be re-invited in. Yeah.
In the unranked lobbies, he can be. I'm pretty sure. Not the league lobbies.
No, I don't believe so.
Here comes
sure You See Me Flying will do that.
FlipFlopFish coming around the final turn. Let's see what this time is going to be. Will it be a pole position time? Yes, it will. It's a 1:31.0. So Honos, though, not too far off on pole position, which I don't think anybody really expected. Honos was a little bit further down the grid. He was in the top 5, and Formula Johnny is back in the lobby. But, man, I don't think anybody expected Honos to be this close on the pole position time. It's not a much faster time by FlipFlopFish. And let's see what Honos can do on this current lap.
Quite nicely through the first sector. No, third sector, sorry. Get the apex correct. Try and be as quick as you dare. Brake as late as you dare. Try and turn in quick enough and speed towards the finish line. DRS activated. Can he go quicker? Yes, he can, but by not enough. About 2 hundredths of a second
hundredths of a second off pole position. This is a real shootout. 2 minutes to go in qualifying. And Sweet Crown 19 is on an outlap. He is currently on that medium compound tire. Let's hope he should hopefully get around the track in time. There was a very short call the last time out, but we'll see what he can do.
I'd be surprised if he wasn't able to time it correctly. El Biku is on a quick lap as well. But it looks like he's approaching traffic of the Williams car. I can't tell which Williams that is. I think that might be, yes, it's Corral, and it's also a Speed Kills Tree that he's approaching. He's a tenth and a half down on the pole position time. Damien Corral is moving out of the way as he goes down towards turn 8 and into turn 9 in the chicane. Speed Kills gets out of the way on his outlap, comes through, hits turn 9 correctly, tries to hold as much speed as possible, take the next corner of turn 10 flat out while trying to hit the apex. Does it quite nicely. Now trying to brake as late as he dare, hit the apex. Ooh, that could have been taken a bit better, but it still looks good. Brings it around again into the third sector, turn 12, and into turn 13. Into the penultimate corner now. Is he coming into the pits? Yes, he is.
Yes, he is coming into the pits. Albiku not finishing that lap. Let's ride on board of Sweet Crown 19. He is going to get over the line in time, and he's going to start his final lap in qualifying. 30 seconds to go of regulation time. He's one of the only men out on track right now. A few men are on outlaps. Albiku has retired from the session. He is done with qualifying. Let's see what he can do. Sweet Crown 19 coming into the second sector now, just about coming through the slow chicanes. He's going to come up onto that DRS straight. Let's see what sector 1 time it's going to be. It's going to be 2/10 down on that lap time, so a little bit faster. Let's see what he can do. He's not on pole position just yet, but now coming down onto the DRS straight. DRS flap is open. Coming down into the slow chicane. Let's see what he can do. Sweet Crown 19, championship winner in 2019, looking to get on pole position again. FlipFlopFish has a 1:31.0. Let's see what that sector 2 time is going to be. It's going to be 4/10 down. He's on the time right now to get pole position. FlipFlopFish might be dethroned as he's coming now out of the flat right-hander. Slowing up now into the third sector. It's going to be quick. It's going to be very quick, but will it be pole position? Sector 3 is looking very tidy indeed right now. Sweet Crown 19 in the Ferrari, looking to get ahead of FlipFlopFish, and that's going to really ignite some rivalry right in the very beginning of the French Grand Prix. And qualifying is, of course, over at the moment. There's a few drivers setting lap times as into the final turn comes Sweet Crown 19. What time is it going to be? It's going to be pole position. 1:36. Pole position for Sweet Crown 19 at the moment. Damien Carroll is coming around the final turn. So is the Haas, I believe, of one of the Haas's is coming over to cross the line. It's Speed Kills 3. He goes a little faster. Damien Carroll does not improve. Element 10 is the final man. The set another lap. Where will he go? He's going to go ahead of Albiku at the very last minute and go 7th fastest. Yosemite Fine is going to set another lap, but no. I don't believe he went too much faster, but it is Sweet Crown 19 on pole position once again for another WSR race starting 2020 off right. As thanks for showing me my XP F1 2019. As Sweet Crown 19 is on pole position, FlipFlopFish behind him by 0.4 of a second. It was a shootout, but let me tell you one thing. Sweet Crown 19 once again proving really the amount of skill he has on all the tracks in Formula 1. FlipFlopFish in second position, and Honos third position on the grid. And a little bit of an underdog, Honos, right now in that Rich Energy Haas car, though it still has the Rich Energy logo on it. I don't think now Lightning Volt Energy.
Call that anymore. Yes,
Lightning Volt. It's Lightning Volt Energy Limited. Don't remember that, guys. I'm sure we'll see that energy drink at some point in the future. I know. I expect not.
But we have to also remember that Honos is on the red striped tire on the soft,
so he will be pitting. He will be pitting a lot sooner.
Yeah, whenever the random is in the top 5 is on the mediums. I do believe that the medium compounded tire will be able to go directly to the hard and be able to finish the race like that. The soft tire, you're able to do a 1-stop, but it's very difficult. So maybe a 2-stop for most of the people who begin on the softs.
I'm seeing the Deck 91 load in. Is he going to be in the race?
I believe so.
Scar Logan LPC also loading up.
It's an unranked lobby, so they'll probably begin from the back of the grid, as far as I'm aware.
We'll have a few other drivers on the grid right now as well. As we are loading up, getting ready for the start, the formation lap will go. We'll go through the order for you, and we will get ready for the start of the WSR 2020 French Grand Prix as the formation laps begin. And let's go through your starting lineup for the first race of the season. Sweet Crown 19 is on pole position by 0.4 of a second, followed by FlipFlopFish 4 in the Mercedes, Honos in the Haas in third position, a very good qualifying position for him. Next is Chaos is in fourth position in the Williams, and Psycho Sane in the Red Bull is in fifth. Out of the top 5, Damien Carroll just outside of the top 5 in the Williams, Element 10 in the Toro Rosso in 7th. El Biku 1 in 8th position in the other Red Bull car. Tapastor in the Renault in 9th position. Formula Johnny making his return to WSR. He is in the McLaren in 10th position. Speedkills 3 in 11th in the other Haas car. Ben Swerven in the Alfa Romeo. We're not used to seeing an Alfa Romeo that far down the grid, but he's in 12th position at the moment. Used to be flying with a very poor qualifying position again, sitting all the way down in 13th position. Mike 52 and 14th in the Racing Point, and the Deck 91 also in another Racing Point in 15th. And at the very bottom of the grid is Scar Logan LPC.
It's also interesting to note that everybody from 11th down, except for Ben Swerven, is on the yellow striped medium compounded tire.
And what tire's on Swerven?
The red compound soft.
Oh.
Except they are fresh softs, though, I do believe.
So a little bit more lifetime in them. Just a bit.
Yes. Scar Logan seems to be doing something a bit interesting. He thought he's able to overtake on a formation lap, apparently, because he's now up at apparently 10th.
I'm still seeing him in 16th. No, well, he's behind Tapastor, though.
Yeah, he's behind Tapastor.
I can only imagine. I'm only getting flashbacks of Singapore in the feeder series when he overtook on the safety car. Something I never thought we'd see is the cars are finally coming around the final turn. For the start of the WSR 2020 French Grand Prix, Sweet Crown 19 looking to repeat with another victory in 2020. FlipFlopFish is championship rival at the moment in the Mercedes. Ferrari versus Mercedes in WSR as we get ready for the start, and I'm very excited as all the cars line up, thousands upon thousands of horsepower. Get ready for the start. We're in the Circuit de Paul Ricard, and it's been a very long wait. But Sweet Crown 19 on pole position, and all the cars are lined up on the grid as the 5 lights are going to come on. It's the Circuit de Paul Ricard. And here's the 5 lights coming on, and it's time to bring the action. And Sweet Crown 19 gets a pretty decent start. He gets ahead of FlipFlopFish 4, who's getting attacked by Honos on the inside in the turn 1. But it's FlipFlopFish who I think will make it ahead and just ahead of Honos. There's a little bit of contact, though, and a few drivers are dropping down positions. There's a big contact in the back. It looked like Deck 91 who had contact. No, it was Mike, I think, had contact. And yeah, he has front wing damage. Half of his front wing is gone, and Psycho Sane all the way down at the bottom of the grid. He had contact with one of the Racing Point cars. But Sweet Crown 19 definitively ahead of FlipFlopFish already at the very beginning of this race. Next is Chaos, though, is very close to Honos, 97. Let's see if he can get any moves in the slipstream. As heading down into the slow chicane, any drivers looking to make a move. There looks to be Ben Swerven on Formula Johnny, as on the inside of Formula Johnny into the chicane. But no, Formula Johnny gets ahead of him in the McLaren.
It's also interesting to note that you see me flying, Mike and both have damage, but Psycho Sane, who's at the very back of the grid,
and look at this side by side, and oh, there's a spin. Ben Swerven goes across the track, and oh my goodness, that was a huge spin, and oh, big crash, resetting on track. Mike 52 has had an accident. Ben Swervin.
That's going to be investigated.
Ben Swervin reset on track. I believe so much. He crossed so much of the track very quickly. I think the game reset him because you will get reset if you do try to cut too much of the track. And I think the game took it as that. And oh my goodness, Mike 52 royally screwed in this race by a reset and has crashed into Ben Swervin. You cannot. You cannot blame.
Kills. Yeah. Well, you can if it was a manual reset. That is also possible.
I don't think that was the case, though.
Elbiku and Speed Kills 3, by the way, are in a close battle at the moment. That they keep on overtaking each other back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it's interesting to keep an eye on that. From what I can see, it doesn't seem like You See Me Flying has pit when he has front end plate damage. That's interesting to note. There's also close battling up going on between the Williams in the top 5, from 4th down as far as 6th and 7th even. From 4th down to as far as 10th really are all quite close. There's a bit of a train forming as FlipFlopFish and Sweet Crown look like they're beginning to gain a lead over Honos, which is something I think we expected. But if Chaos is able to overtake Honos over the next few laps, that remains to be seen to see if he can get in on the action.
As Sweet Crown 19 is in the lead of this race, FlipFlopFish, though, is keeping him honest. He's still getting close to him. And DRS, of course, will begin on this lap, so I expect to see a few more overtakes as all the cars have stayed relatively close together. FlipFlopFish goes fastest on the grid with a 1:35.0, though, of course, he is in the slipstream. DRS is enabled. And let's see what FlipFlopFish can do. As they're coming through the twisting turns of Sector 1, he'll get onto that DRS straight, and I think we're about to see our first overtake, possibly, even with the lead of the race. FlipFlopFish, though, wants to keep it close. He wants to get good exits out of these turns, and now, no, he's actually dropping back more than I think he'd like to. If you do drop back too much, sometimes the DRS can actually be counterproductive. You might actually lose time, and now it's about 0.8 of a second separating them.
Chaos could be making a move on Honos.
Element 10 could be making a move. And there is Chaos. A move.
Past Honos.
Past Honos. Element 10 on the inside of Damien Carroll. Gets ahead of him.
So, one of Williams loses out and the other Williams gains. That's interesting. Now, let's see if Chaos can gain on the two leaders on the medium compound as the two leaders are.
1.4 seconds behind FlipFlopFish at the moment. But Honos is not going to let this go by as the Deck 91 gets ahead of, oh, look at this. The two McLarens are scuffing it right now. Scar Logan and Formula Johnny at the back of the grid. They're having a pretty big battle right now. The two McLarens getting very close together. Was there any contact? I don't think there was, so the cars are still good to go at the moment. And You See Me Flying 4 seconds behind, and Psycho Saint is actually catching up to You See Me Flying right now. So You See Me Flying is not having good things right now. Biku has gone into the pit lane, but he has a pit lane penalty. Speeding in the pit lane, went way too fast in, and a bunch of drivers now making their pit stops. Formula Johnny also into the pits. Well, actually, just about 2 drivers. But that is very early on.
Yeah, You See Me Flying as being very surprising to me on how he has front wing damage and he still isn't pitting, and it seems to be very severe as he has front wing damage on his right hand side. No, sorry, his left hand side, but our right hand side on the end plate. If you have a look there, but
I do see the damage.
What he isn't pitting is quite surprising. He seems to be losing more time to Logan ahead, who Logan is actually trying to make a move on the deck, and it looks like he's going to do so into turn 8. Can he hold it? Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
Yes, he can.
And Ben Swervin also has left the session.
Ben Swervin has left the session, of course. Not a good start for him. The Mike 52 has also left the session. I have a feeling they might have been screaming at each other just a little bit. Possibly, considering they left at both the exact same time.
FlipFlopFish is after getting into within half a second again of Sweet Crown 19. This is going to be a fight that I hope will go all the way to the end, but it might be settled in the pit stops. Will one of these two drivers decide to try and and undercut the other driver and trying to overtake in the pit stops.
Bundles of oversteer from FlipFlopFish 4. Really getting it very hard to turn the car in on that medium compound tire. Sweet Crown 19 also on the medium, seeming to have a little bit of a smoother experience through some of the corners. But let's see if FlipFlop, again, sector... Oh, look at that. Sweet Crown 19 had a snap oversteer moment there, almost spun, but he kept it together. And Sweet Crown 19 and FlipFlopFish 4 having a pretty good honest battle right now at the moment.
Speedkills 3 just went off track ever so slightly. He went a tiny bit wide. Looked like it could have been a corner cutting warning at least. Has to have been.
The Deck 91 got ahead of Scar Logan into Sector 1. Now let's look on board of FlipFlopFish 4. Much closer in the DRS zone right now against Sweet Crown 19. I'm expecting them to go side by side before the chicane. Let's see what's going to happen. No, keeping it close, but no cigar on that DRS straight.
Psycho saying someone You See Me Flying who has damage, let's not forget. You See Me Flying is defending to the inside, but swerved back to the outside, which is surprising to me.
Psycho saying on the inside, and I think it's going to be a good overtake, and You See Me Flying will try to hang it around. Oh, looking on the inside a little bit, but nothing doing it. Psycho saying very easily making that move. FlipFlopFish is very close to Sweet Crown 19, and he gets ahead of Sweet Crown 19. He's overtaken him, and there's almost contact. It looked like there actually might have been contact on the... Very slight contact, because Sweet Crown 19 actually has dropped back a little bit from FlipFlopFish. Now that the overtake has been made, if they keep this positions as they are and there's no overtakes, who's going to pit first?
I would assume the car behind will pit first. That's normally how this works. The Deck is after getting past to Pastor, as FlipFlopFish is also after setting the quickest lap of the race again.
And look at Scar Logan LPC and the Pastor at a drag race on the start-finish line. Let's see if he can get ahead of him, and he will. Scar Logan with a very good overtake onto Pastor. Already some great action very early on in this race.
And Pastor goes a tiny bit wide, unleashing Logan to go after the Deck, who seems to be sliding over the place as well. Maybe struggling on the tires, or just a bit cold, maybe.
I would like to mention Sweet Crown has actually dropped back a little bit from FlipFlopFish. So is there maybe a little bit overcooking on the tires from Sweet Crown 19? He is, of course, getting close to him a little bit with that DRS, but not as close that I think he would like to have been to possibly make a challenge again.
Assuming that's all happening on corners most of the time, I would assume it's because of the dirty air.
And look at Scar Logan and the Deck going side by side into the chicane, but the Deck keeps ahead of him.
That's going to be an interesting fight, and hopefully a fight that will last a while as well. And it looks like the front two are getting away from Chaos, but Chaos is getting away from Hanos, and Hanos and Element 10 I think is closing in on Hanos, but Speedkill seems to be dropping off ever so slightly more. Speedkill goes very wide actually into
and he gets a 3-second
time pedal.
Ollie for extending it.
He went very wide.
And into the pits is Honos.
That should have been You See Me Flying, in my opinion, because You See Me Flying needs to
You See Me Flying should have been pitted a long time ago. Ben Swerven has joined back in the session of only to watch. His car is out of the race, as Sweet Crown 19 is a little bit closer to FlipFlopFish. Now let's see into this small chicane. I have a feeling there's a lot of dirty air going on right here, because I tend to see them lose a lot of time. The exits have not been good, both from FlipFlopFish and Sweet Crown respectively, when being behind another car. So and look at that, yeah, there's a bundle amount of understeer from Sweet Crown 19, as there's about 6/10 separating the two drivers, as Damian Carolla is into the pits as well. And let's see how close Sweet Crown 19 can get to him. He looks a little bit on the inside, but a little bit too far away. And the top two having a titanic battle right now.
As I thought, Hanos, who began on the softs from P3, will be doing a 2-stop, as he's after going to another set of soft compound tires, which means because in order to complete the race without being DSQ'd, you have to use at least 2 different types of tire, unless wet weather is involved.
And look at this, Sweet Crown 19, though, in the third sector, getting a much better run than FlipFlopFish. I think FlipFlopFish generally is struggling a little bit in the third sector, though. He's about 4/10 away from him now.
I do believe that, from what we're seeing, I do believe FlipFlopFish is after utilizing his setup to be powerful on the straights but slower in the corners, when I think Sweet Crown is doing the opposite to him.
As here comes Sweet Crown 19. He's on that DRS straight, keeping it relatively close, about 0.5 of a second, coming into turn 1. Again, Sector 1. This has not been good for either of the drivers when they've been behind. Deck 91.
Pastor's pit. The deck is getting close to Scar Logan again. Pastor's pitting.
I want to keep this note. Sweet Crown 19's rather close to FlipFlopFish. Now coming out of the DRS straight, this will be interesting. I think Sweet Crown, look at this, Sweet Crown 19 under 0.4, now 0.3. DRS flap is open. This should be an overtake. FlipFlopFish will do all he can, but he might just have to sit and watch as the Ferrari flies on past him, and the overtake is remade. And Sweet Crown 19, and look at this, more contact. Hitting the back of Sweet Crown 19 is FlipFlopFish 4. Now going into the flat right-hander. Let's see what the Mercedes can do against the Ferrari power. And look at this. They're getting really close. This is going to get dicey.
More contact.
On the inside, looking, and Sweet Crown 19 is giving him birth, and they're going on the inside, and FlipFlopFish 4 is getting very close to Sweet Crown 19. A little bit of battling going on in third sector, but Sweet Crown 19 keeps the position.
It's interesting to note that Pastor's, after going on to the hard compound of tyres, unlike his rival in this race, who I do believe is going to be Honos at this point, who also began in the top 10 on the soft, goes for another set of softs. So they're kind of doing opposite strategies. I think Pastor may be trying to attempt a very, very risky one-stop.
And look at FlipFlopFish. He's getting very close in the braking zone, just 0.2 away from him.
It's also interesting to note that FlipFlopFish has the quickest lap of the race so far, which will merit an extra point. But it's only ever so slightly quicker than Sweet Crown's by about 1.3 of a second.
To be fair, FlipFlopFish has actually had a pretty good run out of Sector 1 going onto that DRS straight, but he's actually going to lose time. He had a bad exit, and he's not going to gain enough time to possibly make an overtake into the chicane. And they'll get close, but no cigar.
Damien Corral and Elbiku are going at it down in 11th and 12th. It looks like this is about to get hairy. Very close battle. Within 0.3 of a second, like the leaders, but...
And I'm looking actually at FlipFlopFish 4. They're getting close to one another. Very close by just about 0.3 of a second. Let's ride on board of Damien Carroll. He's going to be in that slipstream with that DRS. Elbiku is going to do his best, and Elbiku is swerving all over the place. He's got to choose a braking line. He goes into it, and Damien Carroll and Elbiku, very close contact, but it's Elbiku who keeps ahead, and he was swerving all over the track. And here comes Damien Carroll again. They're going to go side by side. It's the flat right-hander. That would be outrageous. And yes, they are going to. Elbiku takes the wide line, and he gets ahead of Damien Carroll. Damien Carroll may look on the inside, but no. Elbiku, very good defending from him. Maybe a little bit wish-washing in that DRS line. He was swerving a little bit, but he chose a line, and he made it happen. And Damien Carroll, at the moment, no answers for him.
Sweet Crown 19 locked up again into turn 1. He might be beginning to struggle on his tyres as Speed Kills 3 is after getting another 3-second time penalty. That might have been his first, it might have been his second, I'm not entirely sure.
Honos goes fastest, 134.3.
But that's on a set of softs when all the leaders are on mediums.
Still a good lap nonetheless. And look at FlipFlop though, not having a good exit again. Not able to make up a lot of time on that DRS straight. I think both drivers at this moment might be running on the low end of the lifespan of their tires.
Elbiku is going again on Damien Carroll. Turn 4 now. The bollard was just hit at turn 4 actually by Elbiku. Around turn 5 and turn 6 into
Elbiku going wide again.
Turn 7 into the back straight. Elbiku a bit too far back now, I think, to even try and attempt this move.
He might be a little bit too far back. We'll have to wait and see. They're going to get close, that's for sure. He's going to look a little bit, but no.
No. If they hold each other up...
Oh, but look. Oh, there's contact. Elbiku hits the back of Damien Carroll. There was a little bit of contact. And he definitely got very close to him. And I think he outbroke himself just a little bit and wasn't able to slow up enough. I don't think he was expecting Damien Carroll might have had a bad exit out of the turn, though. Let's ride on board of FlipFlopFish. He's getting very close again to Sweet Crown 19. Both of these guys I think they're really scared to pit each one of them because they don't know how it's going to end up. They're so close to each other. They haven't been able to make any time up on one another. They've been pretty much matching pace in each of the sectors of the lap and have just been rather close to each other all race long. Who pits first and who possibly loses the race is really what this is up to.
At the moment, I do believe FlipFlopFish is dropping back ever so slightly. He hasn't looked himself after he dropped back behind Sweetcrow 19 again. So I do expect FlipFlop to try and attempt the undercut. If I was in his situation, that's what I would be personally trying to do, because he seems to be dropping back ever so slightly. Chaos seems to be in a world of his own at the moment, being so far behind the leaders, but also so far ahead of Element 10 to finish off the podium at this current point in time.
And FlipFlopFish is getting close. He's getting within 2 seconds. That third sector is treating him well. And Sweetcrow 19 actually goes a little wide. And the rear tires are running up on the off track. And Sweetcrow 19 is getting bundles of understeer, just hitting the apex at the very last minute. And Sweetcrow 19 is not loving this third sector right now. I'm expecting one of them to pit. And it is. I think it's going to be... No. I thought FlipFlopFish might be looking to make a pit stop. Maybe he thought about it, but... Nevertheless, Sweetcrow 19, a little bit of wheel spin out of turn 1. And now back on that DRS straight. And FlipFlop will gain a little bit of time, but ultimately no move possible.
Chaos is pit from third. He's the first to react.
And Element 10 goes by him.
Yeah.
So will Speed.
And,
I think Scar's a little bit too far back. And it's the hard compound tires for Nexus Chaos.
That's to be expected. You're just not able to do that many laps on a set of soft.
Psycho Saint also into the pits. Hard compound tires go on. No, is it? And I think it might still be It's a mediums. I think that might be a.
Yeah, it's mediums.
No, it's the hards. It is the hards. I'm looking on the detail screen. Yeah, sometimes they discolor the tires wrong.
No, it's mediums. I'm looking at the mediums.
Right, but look at the detail though. The detail will tell you the actual tire they're on. That's not.
I'll check.
The colors have not been accurate. The colors are not always accurate.
You sure?
Yes, I've had this happen a few times. Let's run on board a FlipFlopFish 4 though. He is getting close again to Sweetcrow 19 in that third sector again. Sweetcrow is not having it in the third sector in this Grand Prix at the moment, but not getting close enough to make an overtake. I suspect one of them is going to make a pit stop rather soon. We're on lap 27 of 12. It is not raining like it was last year, and I think we're going to have maybe a few less wet races, but no pit stop from either of them.
Mr. Psycho saying, according to the race director, is still on mediums.
Oh, well, I don't know then.
And the race director is hardly ever wrong. That's what I normally go off.
I just went on the detail screen.
Into the pit. Element 10 and Speed Kills are both into the pit, and Speed Kills after getting a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Can we just address You See Me Flying for a second? He still hasn't pit with front wing down.
And on that medium tire, Damien Kroll is just running. Actually, they're getting rather close to each other. That might only be because of pit stops. And nope, no pit stop yet. And he's struggling really hard. I don't know what kind of... he must have details that we don't have.
Yeah, Hanos, I'd like to remind you, is doing a 2-stop. I'm guaranteed of that because he's after going from soft to soft. So he will have to make another stop. As will Psycho saying, which I still don't understand. Unless he's unaware of the rule that you have to use 2 different compounds.
Well, we hope not. We hope he's not unaware of that rule. That would be quite embarrassing, to say the least.
It'd be kind of funny for us, but... very embarrassing for him.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to laugh too much at that. That would be sad. FlipFlopFish 4 is getting close.
Not openly laugh. Not openly laugh, but like it'd be a bit entertaining. You See Me Flying's up to 8, but still has front wing damage. Who's holding up the entire train? According to the lap time, the fastest lap, You See Me Flying, his fastest lap is slower by 2 seconds to anybody else on the track.
Elbiku has gone off track. He's actually dropped behind a few drivers. And into the pits, both is Sweetcrow 19 and FlipFlop. They match pit stops. And look at how close they are behind one another out of the pit lane. This is going to be madness.
This is surprising. I would have done the opposite. Like if I was FlipFlop, I would have done the opposite to Sweet Crown. If he would have pit, I would have remained out. And
but look at this. Scar Logan might come out ahead, and he does. Oh, no. Oh, they're spinning, and he spins, and Scar Logan gets reset. I think there is a resetter on. Oh, man, that was very close. And Sweet Crown 19 might have been a little bit of contact. I hope there's no wing damage.
Hanos has been slowing up a lot, and now Nexus Chaos has been able to overtake Hanos under that incident. Drama.
Scar Logan is still in third position. He's made a pit stop. I don't think he has. Nope, no pit stop yet for Scar Logan, so he's really extending it. And look at this, side by side into the chicane. Sweet Crown 19 trying to get ahead of FlipFlopFish 4. FlipFlop switching it around the outside. Now they're going to go into this flat right-hander, and I presume they'll go side by side again. This is brilliant racing from the top two drivers. Side by side into the flat right-hander, and FlipFlopFish might make the move happen. Still side by side into the third sector. FlipFlopFish, no, and finally getting ahead, but then switching around to the outside, but no. Sweet Crown 19 gets it done, and he is still into the lead of this race. Amazing driving, amazing battling from two supremely talented drivers.
Albiku keeps on going off track in his on the medium compound. He's gone off track at least twice this lap now, from what I've seen. The Pastor looks like to be getting involved with You See Me Flying and Albiku. You See Me Flying is actually holding up.
And
Albiku
look at this! FlipFlopFish on the inside in the turn one, and he makes the move just about and then Sweet Crown on the inside, and this is outrageous battling. And FlipFlopFish now takes the lead, going on the inside of Sweet Crown 19, and this is proper racing. This is a titanic battle between the Silver Arrow and the Prancing Horse. And
Logan, Hanos, and You See Me Flying have after pit, and You See Me Flying has changed the front wing about 15 laps too late.
Yeah, about 15 laps too late is right. Sweet Crown 19 is close, though. With that DRS flap open, will a move be made again? Sweet Crown 19 may look, but no, a little bit too far away to make a dive bomb of any sort. We don't want to really be doing it there. But now, will Sweet Crown 19 be able to make a move into this flat right-hander? Going to be rather close coming out of the turn. Let's see if they're close enough. I think they'll just follow one another into it, and yes, they will. But titanic battling, a little bit of a better line by Sweet Crown 19, as who will break latest, and I think it's FlipFlop who actually broke better into the slow hairpin. Look at on board of Damian Carroll. He's about a second away from Speedkills 3, who is in 5th position right now. Not a bad position for him to be in. And this is a titanic battle right now. Let's look at Sweet Crown 19, who is very close to the back of FlipFlopFish and just before that DRS straight, so I presume a move might be made. Where's it going to be made, though? I think FlipFlop would like to have him on the outside, and he is going to go around the outside. Sweet Crown 19 looking. Will he make the move? And he will! Unbelievable! Amazing move by Sweet Crown 19. FlipFlopFish, though, will get a better exit out of the turn, and they're really close. And his front wing to rear diffuser. FlipFlopFish, though, keeping it together. And this is a titanic battle. I'll keep saying it again because it is true. FlipFlopFish and Sweet Crown 19 are giving an absolute show at Paul Ricard.
Hopefully we get this for the entire season. Am I right?
FlipFlopFish now with DRS open again. Will he get close enough to make a dive bomb on the inside? And he is now going to go side by side with Sweet Crown 19 and on to the lead of the race at the moment, but just about. And yes, he does make the move on Sweet Crown 19. And that was a great move around the outside of Sweet Crown 19. Sorry, I think on the inside actually, and then it was the outside, and he made it happen nonetheless.
Scar Logan's after getting past at the deck just before the back straight, and the deck has got DRS, so only about 4/10 of a second in it. Will he make a move? No, he won't. Hanos, who's doing the two-stop, which seems to may have screwed him over ever so slightly, is now beginning to close in on the deck and Scar Logan. And You See Me Flying is at the very back again. Sweet Crown 19 is falling a bit back, but on the DRS straight again as he tries to approach on FlipFlopFish.
He might make a move. Very close, but I think that would have been a little bit of suicide from Sweet Crown 19 to make a move there.
You need a bit of Ricardo magic.
A bit of Ricardo magic, a little bit of Verstappen magic, and then some Ayrton Senna in your bloodstream to be making a dive bomb like that.
And a bit of Pastor Maldonado.
Well, then you're just stupid. But now coming around onto the DRS straight, Sweet Crown 19 is about 4/10 of a second, and let's see, there might be a move made here. FlipFlopFish and Sweet Crown 19 are getting close again, but I think he'll stay behind him in this turn. Yes, he will.
10 laps to go, including the lap we're currently on, I believe. I think that's right. Will they go side by side into the fast right-hander? I don't think so.
But Sweet Crown 19 is still very close to FlipFlopFish, and the third sector has generally been better for FlipFlopFish, and Sweet Crown 19 hasn't been able to really match him. But let's see now on the newer tires for both of them, who's got better apex hitting, who's got better grip. I think it's Sweet Crown 19 actually in the third sector is a little bit faster because he does generally get closer to him, and look how close they are together into the final turn, and ooh, very close.
Hanos is getting close to the deck, and Scar Logan's making a move on Elbiku when he's after getting passed around on the third sector on the long swooping
and here goes Sweet
11.
Crown 19 on the inside in the turn 1, and he gets FlipFlopFish again.
This is incredible.
FlipFlopFish and Sweet Crown 19 are battling almost every lap. And this is shades of Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen at Silverstone all over again. Though this time it's a Mercedes versus a Ferrari. It's two supremely talented drivers giving it their everything in the first race, looking to be the top man on the podium in the first round of WSR.
And
looking on the outside.
Completing the quickest lap there for Scar Logan.
There was a look of out on the outside for FlipFlopFish 4, but he didn't make it happen. There was not really enough room. Sweet Crown 19 covering the door on that end of the spectrum. And now
the deck is right behind Hanos on the back straight now in a second. About 8.5 tenths. Seems to be falling it back a bit too much compared to his older hard tires compared to Hanos' soft medium, sorry.
Sweet Crown 19 and FlipFlopFish separated by just 0.3 of a second. And again, FlipFlopFish, though, a little bit better now than Sweet Crown 19 into the third sector. It seems that behind them in the third sector, whoever is behind gets a relatively better grip. And now look at this, a great exit for FlipFlopFish. This will surely be an overtake. Where will he make it, though? It looks like it's going to be on the inside. This might be done before the turn, and it is going to be done before the turn. FlipFlopFish on the inside, and he makes another overtake. And again, positions have been switched, and then Sweet Crown 19 goes a little wide out of turn 2 and is not able to keep it close, but still close enough. It is about 1/10 now, 0.3 of a second separating them, and this is proper stuff between these two drivers, as now they're going to come onto that DRS straight. If he can keep it close, I suspect a good DRS overtake will be made.
Elbiku's pit again.
And here comes Sweet Crown 19 DRS. He's definitely going to be able to make an overtake. Where will he make it, though? Looks like he's going to look on the inside, braking hard, and they're very close, wheel to wheel. And there goes Sweet Crown 19 into the lead again. And man, oh man, the overtake for first position. This has been absolutely outstanding. As Elbiku into the pits, and he goes on that soft compound tire.
Might be going for the fastest lap, maybe.
FlipFlopFish and Sweet Crown 19 separated by just 0.1 of a second. This has been absolutely astounding between these two drivers. They have given us a show that we could have never imagined. And Sweet Crown 19, though, at the moment in the lead of this race, it's not a runaway like we're used to. FlipFlopFish has really improved from the end of 2019 now to the beginning of 2020 onto that start-finish straight, that DRS straight. 4/10 separating the two drivers. Will FlipFlopFish be able to switch positions into turn 1, or will we have to do it on the DRS straight again in turn 7? And no, keeping it behind him, but still very close again.
A bit too far back.
And Damien Carroll, 5-second penalty,
yeah.
Speeding in the pit lane.
Speed kills after overtaking him in the pit lane. Will Psycho saying pitch? Because he's still on those mediums.
He has to.
Because according to the race director, he is on the mediums. And
Here comes FlipFlopFish, DRS straight. Will he get close enough to make an overtake, or is this going to be the first time we're not going to see a move? And it looks like they're not close enough. And no, Sweet Crown 19 might have made just enough of a gap to keep it ahead. And are we going to start to see a bit of a gap form? I know that it's a little bit early to say that, but it is surprising that he wasn't able to make the overtake. And going into the flat right-hander, no wheel-to-wheel action there either.
Just as a reference, if either Sweet Crown 19 or FlipFlopFish pitch, which is highly unlikely, but if they do, they will come out as, just ahead of the pastor. We believe the pit lane is about 20 seconds in length, including your stop.
I think it is about 20 seconds because Scar Logan almost got ahead of Sweet Crown 19 into the pit stop, but he did spin around and was not able to make it. As Sweet Crown 19 in the lead of this race, now on that start-finish line, FlipFlopFish will have DRS down the start-finish straight. 0.5 of a second are separating them. It is not updating as quick as usual. Now going in the turn 1, Sweet Crown 19 still ahead, about 3.4 of a second. Now up to almost half a second.
It's interesting to note that Sweet Crown 19 has locked up a lot into the first corner.
But not at the moment.
Well, he did on that lap, so it could be wearing out his tires more than FlipFlopFish. So FlipFlopFish might just have the advantage in
that was not
wear,
a great line by Sweet Crown 19 though out of the turn. It looked like he went wide, but he's actually gaining time on FlipFlopFish. Now 0.6 of a second separating the two drivers. All the way down to 0.4 before braking hard into the chicane.
Sweet Crown 19 has 2 warnings, by the way, so he could get a 3-second time penalty if he cuts ever so slightly more. FlipFlopFish, however, has no warnings. So Sweet Crown has to be very, very careful that he does not accidentally cut too much, because that could just throw this entire race away on him.
Both drivers have to be careful. FlipFlopFish was not necessarily the cleanest driver in terms of penalties. Everybody had a lot of penalties actually yesterday in the preseason test, so we're definitely seeing a little bit of a better driving from some of the drivers today. Sweet Crown 19 especially, who had a terrible race in the preseason race. Of course, not able to recover really from the pit stop. But now Sweet Crown 19, pretty much opposite of yesterday, is having a cracker of a race right now. He's ahead by about 0.3 of a second, now 0.2 of a second. They're going to get close, but no cigar for FlipFlopFish 4. Now the gap is really starting to form, and I think we're starting to see an advantage in the way of Sweet Crown 19. Lap 22 of 27, just a few more laps to go, and FlipFlopFish would like to make another overtake, get into the lead of this race, but it might not happen.
You See Me Flying is also in a very close battle with Albiku, but these seem to be the only 2 really close battles on track at the moment.
Albiku is going to go on the inside of You See Me Flying, but no cigar, and You See Me Flying gets ahead of him.
FlipFlopFish might be going for an overtake into turn 8. Yes, he
does. Through. On the inside, side by side, and almost took off the end plate of Sweet Crown 19, and that would have surely sealed the deal if that had actually happened. But they're relatively still okay, though maybe Sweet Crown 19 not having the best of time with his hard compound tires, locking up a few times, but they're going to go side by side into the slow hairpin again, and there goes on the inside Sweet Crown 19. He's going to switch on the inside as FlipFlopFish, but now the lead of the race changes again, and this is amazing. Will it ever end? We hope it doesn't. Sweet Crown 19 and FlipFlopFish are having the battle of their lives in the first round of the championship, trying to prove who is the better man on track.
It's interesting to know that
oh, look at this! FlipFlopFish and Sweet Crown 19 are having an amazing battle as he gets ahead of him on the start-finish line before turn 1. And that was scary stuff right there for both of the drivers, and this is getting personal.
It's a brilliant move, though. You can't take it away from them. Elbiku's after going off track, and You See Me Flying's after re-overtaking. But it looks like Elbiku will be going for it again.
As here comes Sweet Crown 19 Will he make an overtake? He's close again on FlipFlopFish 4. He'll have DRS down the straight, obviously, and I think with 3/10 separating them, that's definitely going to be a overtake for Sweet Crown 19. Where will he make it, though? He should go on the inside, but no, he's actually not close enough. He doesn't get there. So FlipFlopFish actually had a very good exit. He's pit, and he's on the soft compound tire.
Yeah, he has pit, and it's also interesting to note that Logan has got the fastest lap at this point. But that point won't be added to his tally unless he's classified in the top 10.
Which at the moment he's 10 seconds out of the top 10. Damien Carolla is relatively close to the Deck 91, I will say that. And Deck 91 goes really wide, and I think that the Damien might be able to get him if he gets a good exit. There's the DRS opening for Damien Carolla. Let's see if he can make a move, and the deck will give him a good wide berth. And will he move at the last minute? No, and into the inside goes the Deck 91, and still side by side is Deck 91 of Damien, but Damien gets ahead of him. Was there contact?
Sweet Crown is on FlipFlopFish again into turn 1. It's going to be close. No, not close enough though. But they're very close. The gap is about 0.2 of a second. Albigu seems to be struggling after switching over to the soft compounded tire when You See Me Flying seems to be holding him at bay on the hard compound. Logan, though, however, is still the quickest man on track. Sweet Crown 19 is going to go for it again onto the back straight. It's very close this time. Into turn 8. Not close enough, I don't think. He
looks.
For a look, but
he looks, but no.
Slightly.
Looks, but nothing going for it.
You see, he keeps on hitting a lockup on the exact same side every single time on the right-hand side.
You can actually see the line definition on the tire. If you look close enough, you can actually see a line forming on that tire.
I do believe FlipFlopFish might have the advantage in tire wear, which is just keeping him ahead at this point. I think he's been a bit too heavy on his tires at the moment, Sweet Crown 19.
Of course, they got to keep it all together. Any penalties of any sort could ruin each other's race. Of course, FlipFlopFish now at the moment with the most to lose. If he does get the penalty, he of course will get second.
FlipFlopFish hasn't got a single warning.
Where is Sweet Crown 19? Is he on warnings at all?
He has 2 warnings.
2 warnings, so he's close.
One more warning and he will get a penalty. Honos is just after picking up a 3-second penalty on the medium compounded tires. Still interesting that we haven't seen Psycho saying pit. I'm expecting him to.
I hope he does. I hope he's aware of the rules.
Because there's only 2 laps left, and that could be a DSQ, which will promote Scar Logan, who has the quickest lap at the moment, into the top 10.
And here comes Sweet Crown 19. He is rather close to FlipFlopFish, but is that tire wear killing him into making an overtake? Let's see what he can do. They're going to get close.
He goes for a look.
And I think he's going to go on the inside into the chicane, and yes, he will.
Again.
He locks up again.
He locks up again.
Here goes FlipFlopFish, and he keeps the position, but they're going to be relatively close coming up to this flat right-hander, and I think Sweet Crown 19 is just about side by side. They're going to be very close into the tight. And there they go, and this is proper stuff still. Sweet Crown 19 looking like a bit of a Sebastian Vettel out there, but on the inside he locks up again, and he's really breaking late, and FlipFlopFish keeps the position.
Psycho saying still hasn't pit, and he's still after to Pastor. I do believe that he will be DSQ'd unless the race director and the screen itself is lying to me.
See, it says he's on the hards. We'll keep an eye on that one. It says he's on the hards on the detail screen.
But the race director says he's on mediums, unless he pit again and it's still glitching.
We'll find out, but let's not pay attention to that too much, because look at this, still battling with 2 laps to go. Lap 26 of 27.
Okay, the race director's after fixing himself again. He is on the hard compounded tires.
Oh,
he will not be disqualified.
He will not be disqualified, so...
No, I just checked.
Thankfully, the game...
who's after picking up a 3-second time penalty again behind You See Me Flying. So Psycho Sane and Tapastor are in a legitimate battle on the back straight.
But You See Me Flying has to defend against Albiku, who's looking, and he's going to get very close to the back, trying to look around the outside, but that's never going to happen in that turn. And no,
to passengers after picking up a 3-second penalty. And
Sweet Crown 19 not able to make an overtake on FlipFlopFish down the DRS straight. Lap 26 of 27. We're on the penultimate lap of this race.
This is going to be interesting. Now, where will penalties leave everybody who isn't in the top 2?
I think Nexus is.
I
think Nexus is fine. He'll stay in third. Element 10, I think, will stay where he is. I don't think he has. Does he have a pit lane penalty? I don't think he does. Somebody has a pit lane penalty. I know that.
Well, at least FlipFlop isn't going to lap his teammate, which is a good sign.
That is very good to see. But now here comes Sweet Crown 19, and now FlipFlop is swerving. He's trying to keep out of the slipstream area radius for Sweet Crown 19, and they're going to go into turn 1, and it's very, very close. Still about 3/10. I think it was another lockup. He's locking up all over the place. He's braking as late as possible. He wants to keep as close as possible. I see.
There's another lockup.
There is another lock. There's another one right there. He's locking up everywhere. I wonder if there's a bit of a brake issue on his side, but he is very, very close to this DRS straight. It is lap 27 of 27, and here comes Sweet Crown 19, the final time he'll have, and that was a bad exit for FlipFlopFish 4, and Sweet Crown 19 is going to be able to make a move. Will he make it happen, and will FlipFlopFish be able to defend? No! Sweet Crown 19 takes the lead of the race.
Locked up again.
He did lock up again. FlipFlopFish almost went into the back of him, and it's going to be very close onto the flat right-hander. And let's see what FlipFlopFish can do. He's going to be the final few turns to make it happen and to possibly get back into the lead of this race. Will he make a look on the outside? And he's going to look around the outside.
Yes.
That's outrageous.
He's
oh, my
fast.
goodness. No, they're
He's
still side by side.
No.
And here comes Sweet Crown. Oh, they're going to squeeze him a little bit. And now FlipFlop, I think they make contact. And he pushes Sweet Crown 19 off track. Sweet Crown 19 will rejoin ahead of FlipFlopFish 4. Very personal in the final few turns. And here comes Sweet Crown 19 coming around the final turn. And oh no! Is there going to be contact? And oh, there is big contact. And what will happen here? Who's going to get ahead? And is it going to be... It's Sweet Crown 19. He has a 5-second penalty for gaining a penalty. And FlipFlopFish, on the record at the moment, is going to win the race. That's outrageous, that penalty.
I'm screenshotting the penalties at the very end just for the stewarding.
That made note. There was a corner cut for a position gain on Sweet Crown 19. Speed Kills gets a 5-second penalty, an unserved penalty.
Okay, that might be it. That's definitely going to be that's definitely going to go to the stewards, I'd say.
Nexus Chaos keeps third. Now, what about Deck, though? Is Scar Logan be able to get ahead of Deck? They're very close together. Is there enough penalties on the deck to change any positions here? Yes, there will! Scar Logan gets into the top 10, and he'll keep that final point for the fastest lap of the race. But drama at the end. FlipFlopFish and Sweet Crown 19. That was insane.
That will probably be investigated by the stewards after the race. I think we can both agree there.
At the moment, FlipFlopFish, your provisional winner in the French Grand Prix. But an investigation will definitely be made because that was definitely some fishy stuff going on at the end there. But nevertheless,
that was a bad pun.
That was a very bad pun. But FlipFlopFish has won the French Grand Prix in what has been a dramatic end to the first round of the WSR Formula World Championship. Sweet Crown 19 finishes in second, and Nexus Chaos finishes in third. It's been a thrilling French Grand Prix from start to finish. My name is WSRX.
And my name is Alex O'Sullivan. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week for the German Grand Prix. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you very much for joining us. Hello, everybody, and have a great night.